What is up, you muffin munching muggles? Welcome to Fiction and Reality. Video game cheaters, the worst flock of vermin to ever skulk the earth. The world of gaming has a cheating problem. We've all had it happen to us. DDoSed on Rainbow Six Siege by a time wizard, left spinning in place on a treadmill, some devil with x-ray vision laser blasting us through the walls in high def.
This is 4K! How did they get you in 4K?
Recently, the Arc Raiders community has been in uproar about an uptick in cheaters across its player base, which we'll get into first. So let's explore the cheater epidemic in the world of gaming and the three chains keeping its cycle going. Seriously, why can't you magical wizards and jumping whimsical walruses put your wands away? There has been a growing number of cheats and exploits enveloping the world of Arc Raiders, gadgets which give players superhuman-like vision through terrain, of course wall hacks and macro abuse, which is further amplified by aim assist, that's accuracy increases with field of view. This in conjunction with glitches that allow players to bypass locked doors and collect rare loot without incident. There are three components that feed the cycle of cheating in the world of gaming: the speed and efficiency of which the developers have in correcting it, the player's frequency of use, and of course the devices employed. If there's one thing a player base can't stand, it's a dev team that doesn't have the balls to stand against its player base when it's getting into some very, very nefarious cheating activities, or a dev team that is extremely passive when it comes to approaching cheaters in their game. Regardless of the game, a slap on the wrist for cheaters is a slap on the ass for the players, which is a bad thing depending on who you are and what you're into. The penalty that's been announced is a mere 30-day suspension, which caused a brief uproar in the community as it was not sustainable in holding the wall hack wizards accountable. In a game like Rainbow Six Siege, for example, if you're caught blowing the back out of soft wall with Chonky's turrets, your ass is in the slammer, immediate permaban. What the devs for Arc Raiders are doing, in my opinion, are being way too lenient on this 30-day baseline suspension for all, as it does embolden the cheaters to re-engage in the same activity. The worst part is that the penalty is being invoked in light of a weak anti-cheat system for which the developers promise will progress over the next few months. Players are still awaiting a proficient anti-cheat system for their game. You think you'd crack down harder on the cheaters while you wait for it. The argument is that there are different levels of cheating in game, and all cheaters should be suspended for 30 days upon the first infraction, a blanket sanction. But I severely disagree with this lenient approach, and here's why. No matter which way you chop it, if you're cheating in a video game, whether that's people wall hacking, searching for the one piece with x-ray vision, or flicking on their aimbot switch to put chrome to the dome, they're gaining a competitive advantage against players who are not using these tools at all. Unless you forget, cheating is not a mistake or accident. Cheating is done intentionally to obtain a competitive advantage over a player base. However, I do believe cheaters and exploiters in video games need separate categories. Exploiters exploit glitches or bugs that exist at the fault of the developer's game design. Cheaters are reaching into their mom's wallet, little Timmy and Caleb asking for a Cronus Zen for their 10th birthday, and then absolutely bending over the comp lobbies. That's who's blasting you. You think I'm lying? Look at this Cronus review by Karen with an S. This was a gift for my grandson. He said it was exactly what he wanted and was happy with it. And you know what gift would make me happy? You hitting that like button. While the developers of Arc Raiders are attending to the problem at hand and working to implement measures that reduce the scope of cheating in their game, I believe that a 30-day suspension is not enough of a deterrent factor. The more grandstanding the penalty, the less likely a player is to engage in that activity or behavior. Moreover, implementing this brittle suspension while still fine-tuning an anti-cheat system still leaves players diffusely exposed, in my opinion. Hardware banning is a much more proficient means of achieving the desired deterrent effect, and I'm sure many players hope to see the crackdown in the near future, which the developers of Arc Raiders did say will likely happen in the event of reoccurring cheaters being caught. Cheating in video games, the greatest leisure for the unemployed. As I'm sure we're all aware, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege has had a gridlock-sized issue with cheaters in 2025 seasons. Hands down the worst season of cheating that I've experienced. Some of us put down by an auto rifle wielding collie, or getting absolutely pumped and dumped by Chonky's humongous shells. A figure skating a Rooney, gliding across the floor and laser blasting us through walls. Cheating was a major factor in players leaving the Rainbow Six Siege community in 2025. And I mean, who the hell wouldn't crash out after having something like this happen to you? Even your boy Junko briefly split away due to the state of Siege to go play Clash of Clans. I think it's fair to say that the developers for Rainbow Six Siege had been neglecting its console population for sure for years and years and years when it comes to this matter of cheating, despite the player base calling for intervention, which eventually arrived in the form of Mousetrap almost half a decade later. A cheating detection system that was implemented to counter the Zim and Chronos femboy community, devices that plug into a console to give its players an extreme advantage over everyone else who uses a controller. Anti-cheat on PC and console eventually began consistently returning ELO to players who lost games due to cheating, and yet it wasn't enough to stop the exodus. While players are leaving due to the holistic state of affairs, we should not forget that cheating in Rainbow Six Siege was an exponentially growing issue within the community at large before reaching an inflection point and blowing up. Don't get it wrong, developers have a role when it comes to prompt intervention in cheating and can even promote cheating by being passive. And in my opinion, the developers failed to adequately address the long-standing problem up until the recent years for a game with an 11-year history, which was a systemic failure built upon season after season of false promises to patch bugs, cheats, and exploits, with Ubisoft even dedicating Operation Health, an entire season, to fixing their bug game, which ended up being one of the many, if not the worst seasons in Rainbow Six Siege history. The decline of Rainbow Six Siege was not just one swift sweep of the hand, but many over an extended period of time. The developers' lax approach to the severity of the matter at hand eroded both the respect and trust in Ubisoft's ability to maintain the integrity of competitive play. Let's try to enter the mind of someone who cheats in a video game. Just imagine a glubby tub of lard of a man who hasn't cleaned his room or himself in 2 weeks, wrist braces strapped on to compress the arthritis biting his joints, and a bucket of piss to save trips to the hall room. Battlefield 6 last year had a huge problem with players breaching its Javelin anti-cheat system, 2.9 million to be exact, reported. Rainbow Six had to roll out Mousetrap to taper down the massive number of cheaters gaining an advantage in console. What does this say about cheating in the online gaming community? Well, for one, players, of course, are the primary drivers of cheating in the gaming world. But why do it? Why come home to your kids, kiss them in the mouth, and say, I gotta go plug my Cronus in and pub stomp some little boys? It's a question that many gamers have been asking themselves for ages and ages. Long story short, these people deadass are getting joy and excitement from it, like their bungee gum is flinging all over the place, kind of. The thrill of winning, regardless of what levels they must sink to achieve it. It's bottom feeder activity, for God's sakes. But cheaters who engage in these activities will do so to relish in their power over other players in the lobby. A couple of years ago in Rainbow Six, my teammate and I encountered a cheater named Dominican Kid playing on console. Now, Dominican Kid, who we can assume is related to the Dominican Republic somehow, was on our team. Keep this in mind. It was a 3v5 because 2 of our teammates had left. So Dominican Kid gets on his mic after being quiet the whole game and says, I'm turning the fucking booter on, boys. Then wham, he kicks 3 of the players on the other team offline. Then this man turns up his volume and says, if you lose this fucking round, I'm booting the both of you off too. He turned on us like Don Corleone.
Look how they massacred my boy.
For some reason, the ability to go buy hacks from an online vendor and use the competitive advantage to obliterate an entire gaming lobby while basking in the power disparity doesn't give these people 1 ounce or droplet of guilt. In fact, how many of you have met a hacker that actually was actively carrying a group of players through a match? Real human centipede-esque energy, face to ass to face, all for hope of winning the case. I know I've seen it for sure in Rainbow Six where some kids pay this guy to get them to champion rank while he hacked his way to a W. This is one primary example of players empowering cheaters indirectly, which I'm sure happens more often than not. Make no mistake that players themselves share a vital role in sustaining the cycle of cheating within video games, as they are the primary source for it. Being as such, gamers who encounter these people should exercise their power by flagging them to the devs in order to maintain the integrity of the playing field. When it comes to cheating in gaming, especially on console FPS shooters, everybody hates bucking against a Cronus Zen or Zen Matrix user. I mean, seriously, if you use Cronus Zen or Zen Matrix on console, I hope you drown in a pool of your own seed. There are some dirty devices on console, the third link of cheating I call it, that enables the cycle to keep running and chugging. And oh yes, we've even recently awakened to new forms of treachery with the Titan 2 as well, which is essentially a plug and play wall hack. I honestly don't think that people talk about this issue enough, but I've always questioned why PlayStation and Xbox allow these devices to be plugged into their consoles and remain compatible. And the answer I came to is that these devices use something called an input spoofer, which allows them to pretend they are controllers that are native to the console while simultaneously allowing keyboard and mouse mapping. That being said, I do wonder if PlayStation and Xbox are still passively contributing to the uses of these M&K devices on console, as games like R6 have found a way to detect keyboard and mouse within their game and throw those players into PC lobbies. So maybe it is detectable. Or maybe this isn't a priority for PlayStation and Xbox, which could entirely be the case as well. Now, how much money are these upstanding citizens coming out of their ass foot in order to bend you over in FPS lobbies? For the Zen Matrix, we're starting at $124.99, before taxes, that is. For the Cronus Zen, it looks like you could sell off a few Coke Rocks for $106 or pay 4 separate payment installments. And how nice is that? A payment plan. And lastly, we have the Titan 2, which is running at a smooth $140. These boards are essentially wasting like 40 spicy Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches to M&K on console. Quite the trophy to be indexed. Scanning the list of macros, we see aim assist. It's aimbot. Let's correct that. Aimbot. No recoil, rapid fire, sniper's breath. I mean, the list goes on, and all for the satisfaction of winning a game and achieving a performance at a skill level you don't adequately meet, just for that quick and short burst of euphoria and sensation that you achieve something. And if you can test that that is one of, if not the greatest primary motivator for the purchasing of these devices, then my friends, you truly have to look no further than the reviews on this website. Here we have a review by X-Loser on the Cronus Bonus Zen website. Before using this, I was such a loser. Now I'm dominating the leaderboards. Cronus is killing it in the gaming world. Well, X-Loser, I've got some bad news for you. It looks like you're about to lose that X in your name, buddy. But maybe the next review will give us some hope here. I have no recoil now. My God. Took me from Copper and Siege to Champion in 2 games. Oh, holy crap. I mean, how far do you actually have to fall from grace to sacrifice 40 spicy Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches to plug in your M&K joystick in comp lobbies? I mean, it's quite obvious how these devices contribute to the cycle of cheating in online gaming. The degree of passivity displayed by game developers, if passivity overrules, leads to less reinforcement of anti-cheat securities, thus increasing the abundance and number of cheaters within a game, especially if the game developers are unusually lenient in sanctioning or banning players who choose to cheat in their game. These are the source devices when it comes to cheating on console, and I don't know about you, but I haven't seen any drastic measures taken up by PlayStation or Xbox to actually combat these devices, if I'm being 100% honest with you. With that being said, I am aware that coding itself is transformative in nature, and that the cheater population is absolutely downright visceral when it comes to sneaking and conniving and slithering through gaps to find brand new ways to breach past security defenses, searching for what they can and can't enable in order to bypass the system's protection, which is why anti-cheat software is continuously being updated. And if you think I'm joking, go to YouTube and search up this guy named Arctic Cheats. This man makes YouTube videos showing you how not to get caught cheating in video games, while b-rolling wall hacks and aimbot footage. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we are gone here. The problem of cheating in the world of gaming is obviously here to stay for the foreseeable future. Yet, it is not beyond us to hope that players who remain in good faith will continue applying pressure to developers, as we've seen them do recently with Arc Raiders, to bring about harsher sanctions to players who engage in these activities. Please let me know in the comments below what the craziest thing a hacker or cheater has ever done to you in a game. What game do you think suffers the most from cheating? Once again, I have a Discord link below where you can discuss these topics. You can also follow my IG page, elvinamps23, and other socials in the link below. If you want more analysis of your favorite characters or fictional worlds, go ahead and smash that like button, turn on that notification bell, and subscribe for more. The direction of progress is forward, and it's only up from here. With that, remember, if you're ever lost in a forest, your words, strip your mind for fantasy and look to the window of the world, and there your mind will run free.